With it.
I'm here today at the
They
Family
for
Assistance
baseball. All they would do is
Domestic
baseball
Violence
practice
Awareness
games.
Program
They couldn't even
event.
stay up late to play video games because they had
That's
practice
basically
early
we're
in the
hearing
morning.
testimonies right now of people who went
Jaden
through
was the baby,
different
but
domestic
very
violence
mean.
situations.
He was a very mean baby.
And I'm gonna show you all the people that are here
I
right
always
now.
thought I had more to Jay. Anybody else want to say anything? You? I'm sorry.
And as you can see men and women that have went through different situations, and they're here in support. Domestic violence awareness is definitely important.
My Aunt Nani was a very special
I'm
person.
representing
She always
my
held
purple
family gatherings,
and
always got
black
everybody
today.
together, always went beyond
Because
her
we're all
kids,
warriors
grandkids,
if
nieces,
we,
nephews, and everybody.
we're able to overcome and
Jay
are
was her
still
little
alive
monkey.
to speak about
That
it.
was her little man. Joe was a little man, always.
I am a DV survivor. I was with my abuser for 6 years, and one of the DV statistics say a DV victim will try to leave 7 times. In the 6 years that I left 7 times before he attempted to murder me. I remember he isolated me from family, friends. He would not let me work or even let me out of the house. He would pit me against my family and friends so I wouldn't talk to them and only have him. When drugs got involved, he started thinking I was cheating on him, and if I didn't admit I was cheating, I would get hit. Although I was not actually cheating. On December 2nd of 2022, he took me to Owl Creek, deep in the mountains. He decided he wanted to torture me before killing me and putting me in a hole so nobody would find me.
Wow.
He made me take off my clothes so I won't be able to run. I remember it was raining that night, so I was really cold.
Nice.
He had me in the passenger seat with a seatbelt on. He grabbed some scissors and he would stab me in my stomach. Then I would put my arm to block him from stabbing me. He finally calmed down from stabbing me. Without noticing, I grabbed the scissors. And I hid them under the seat. Then he told me to go to the back of the car and got on top of me and sexually assaulted me. Then he proceeded to punch me in my face. Then he will stop and let me rest for 5 minutes. He said he was going to keep beating me, so I better rest. That moment I was resting, I was thinking this is the time really he is really going to kill me, even though he tried before. This time something told me this is going to be the day that I die. But I thought about my daughter, my family, and I was able to get strength and I got on survival mode. I tried kicking him in the neck, but he got me mad. He got more mad, so all I can do is just block my face from being hit. So when I would block my face, he would go for my ribs. I would let go of my face because he was talking my ribs. So this went on from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next day. For some reason, he just decided to just stop. I was even telling him it's okay, it's my fault, just so he won't go. So it's just so we could go back, and I was able to convince him to go back so I could use the restroom. We stopped at Walmart parking lot. At this point, my face was swollen, eyes were shut closed, I couldn't even see. I remember the last thing he told me while he was laughing, that he left me to form for my face. That moment I felt anger, so I came up with a plan. I convinced him to let me put on some clothes. because I was cold. So little by little, I got my clothes on from the back of the car. When I finally put my shoes on, I noticed that he wasn't looking. I got out of the car, started running towards Walmart, but he ended up grabbing me and he tried pulling me back in the car. But I grabbed onto the railing bars, holding tight. He was telling me sorry that he wasn't gonna do it again. People saw how I was trying to escape, and I saw how badly they saw how badly I was beat. I was so scared that he let me go. So I ran towards Walmart. Once I was inside of Walmart, I saw a Walmart worker and I asked if I could use her phone to call my mom. I know at the time I should have called the police, but all I wanted was to see my mom. When my mom answered the phone, she was surprised to hear from me since we haven't talked for years. I asked her to please come and get me and then I'll be at the pharmacy Walmart. When my mom finally came, she broke down crying because she didn't even recognize me because I was badly beaten. Mom was really angry. She told the manager to call the police. The police officer came, almost fell to the ground because I looked really bad. After a couple of minutes, the paramedics came, laid me down on the stretcher. I was finally able to relax, but at the same time, I felt all the pain all over my face and on my body. They drove me to the emergency room. They had to give me morphine for pain. I couldn't even see what they were doing to me because my eyes were swollen shut. Then they took me to get x-rays, which took like an hour because every single part of my body was beaten. They brought me back to the room where the police tried to take my report, but it was hard because the doctor was trying to, get me stable and save my life. After 1 hour, they found my abuser in Fontana. The same night I got released from the hospital, my mom picked me up and took me to her house. It was so hard for me to sleep. I had a fractured nose, fractured ribs, stab wounds.
Oh my God.
As I stand here today reading my story, I was defeated and disappointed in myself for admitting to these things I didn't do. I couldn't be myself, I couldn't laugh, I couldn't smile. Today I'm smiling, laughing, and living my life. Today I'm grateful to be alive and standing here today. Thank you.
There you go, girl. Yay.
I also have some pictures, if you guys want to see, if you guys are comfortable with seeing the picture of how the way I ended up in the hospital. If you guys can watch. Yeah, you can pass them.
Awareness, it's really making a difference in our community, so I wanted to say thank you, and we can't wait to see the milestones that you'll make. And like we've said before, it takes one person to make a difference, but it's a whole community coming together and bringing awareness and trying to create a safe environment for everyone. So thank you for everything that you're doing, and congratulations on this walk.
I guess so.
Excuse me, I want to get a picture. No.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
My ex-wife Ben was trying to provoke me for so many years to fall into Satan's trap by putting my hands on her, doing all these negative things, but that's not how my mother raised me. So I ignored everything that she was throwing at me. Lotion bottles, cream, the list just goes on. But provoked the kind of fact, now let me back up a little bit, how she would threaten me to bring harm to me when I invited them into my house. So by me keeping the shield of God around me, no weapon formed against me going to prosper.
Amen.
As long as you keep God included into your everyday life. And that's what I did. And as a man, 6'5", 255 pounds, put my hands on a girl that stands 5'1", or any height, I got lots of probably for the rest of my life because I have and I did not want to be provoked that way. So the violence went on for over 3 years, and then she, make a long story short, she had our daughter. It stopped until she had our baby. Then she set the game back up a little bit more tougher, where she started tearing up the house, tearing the clothes off my body, spitting in my face, scratching me all over. Don't get me wrong, I like those things, but to a certain extent. You ain't gonna push it like that. But at any rate, though, she got real violent, and then she hit our daughter with a lotion bottle. That right there put the nail in the coffin. That's when I held my secret for over 3 years with a big eye, telling people I got head bunted. Wouldn't nobody believe that I'm getting my butt kicked at home. And who was me to say something like this to anyone? Because wouldn't nobody believe me until the Lord said I had no choice but to bring the authorities involved when she hit our daughter. That's when they locked her up, gave me a 3-day emergency restraining order, went to the courts, filed a restraining order. The judge granted me full custody of our daughter. And then just August 2nd, my divorce came finalized, and they blessed me again with legal and physical custody permanently of my daughter. Now she's just turned 4. I'm a single father now, and I'm raising my daughter alone. And at that time, I went to San Bernardino County to see the process on my voucher. But then, and I told my little story about what I was going through. I couldn't keep it to myself no more. I had to let it out because I didn't want somebody to say something to me and I dumped all my anger onto that person. I had to vent off somebody, so I might as well vent to something positive. So I spoke with San Bernardino County, and they told me about family assistance program that I had to drive down here to speak with someone, which they gave me the number, and I spoke with Miss Sylvia. And it was during the summertime, it was probably about 115 degrees at that time. But at any rate, though, I was parked right over there. I came here, went downstairs, I shed some tears in front of Sylvia, and she felt the sincerity. She felt my heart. She felt that I was crying for the help, and I did not want to go to jail, And she said, I'm gonna do everything that I can to do to help you. I brought my court paperwork with me to let her know that I have full custody of my daughter. I just need the guidance, need the help. And when I left her office, it's like every 2 weeks, she was corresponding with me, asking me how I'm doing, and texting me, just speaking life into me. It's like an angel in disguise. Like God just brought her to my life. And she called me one day and said, man, they accept your voucher. You need to do it on video, but I prefer for you to come down here and we'll do it together. That way you won't make no mistakes. So I drove another hour and a half, came down here, did the video, went and found the place, all the way down and got me a refrigerator.
Wow.
I mean, it's the small things that you highly favor for. It's not the big things, it's the small things that God will give you that'll help your life. And for what family assistant and Sylvia did for me and my 4-year-old daughter, I can't do nothing but thank her. I can't do nothing but thank her. It's definitely a blessing to me. Went to one of her other programs, and I was more than happy to be part of that as well. And for me to be here speaking to you guys, regarding the domestic violence, again, I would never think that I will be a victim of this. I held it in for so long, I wouldn't change this for the world. I was speaking to a gentleman one day at Walmart, and tell him a little thing about my life. Come to find out, he got a company called Divine Intervention, which talk about help kids that's been bullied or kids that's being bullied. And automatically asked me, can I come and speak at the schools? So we go to middle schools and high schools, and we speak about, bullying. and how to prevent kids from being bullied, and how to prevent kids from bullying, and know what's behind bullying, because I lived a life, born and raised in the projects of Watts. I was pretty much a bully myself, so I know the standard. And for me to be part of his program, as well as the Sylvia program, is a blessing to me. Divine Intervention is a blessing to me because I get to share my past with these kids. Not to go down that road, Mr. James Campbell, please raise your hand. I would highly recommend to get to know his program. It's very, very helpful for youth. But back to Sylvia, I love you, Sylvia. Thank you so much for inviting me here. It's a blessing. I'm watching my daughter embark to a beautiful little girl, speaking. I mean, she had peace. I'm at peace. Almost 10,000 miles from where I used to be, and I was fighting for coming out here. I did not want to come all the way out here, not knowing that this was going to be my blessing. I love it. It scares me because these people out here, they speak. How you doing? Are you okay? Would you like to have my basket? You know what I mean? Come on, man. I'm like, I'm not getting sized up. I mean, this is a different environment than I'm in. I ask God to continue on directing my path and keeping me humble. And, I'm including him. You have to include him in your everyday life. And things going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And I got sympathy for the parents that lost loved ones over domestic violence. I didn't want to be a statistic or a victim. So I asked God to help me, because that threat that she gave me, you might go under the influence of some type of drug or alcohol, and one night, and you might speak how you feel. And for her to do what she did to me that night, busting the windows out of my truck, spitting in my face, and scratched me up, tearing my pad up, and hitting our daughter, all that happened for a reason. When the police came to my house, they already ran my license plate on my truck and said, "That's your blue truck out there?" I said, "Yeah." Well, she bust out your windows. I said, "It's a possibility, but I don't have proof." It just added up, because that little voice in my mind said, "Vengeance are mine. Vengeance are mine." Vengeance. How many times I wanted to just grab her, but I couldn't. So everything that she did was adding up until now. She's out of our life permanently. Now she court ordered to visit our daughter. I don't have to call her and my phone is blocked. I already have the legal and physical full custody of our daughter. It's up to you whether you want to come and see her or not, because our daughter is well taken care of. I've never done this before in my life. My daughter called me her hero, but she not even knowing. In reality, she saved my life. She saved my life. So I love doing her hair.
With it.
I'm here today at the
They
Family
for
Assistance
baseball. All they would do is
Domestic
baseball
Violence
practice,
Awareness
games.
Program.
They couldn't even
event.
stay up late to play video games because they had practice
Basically,
early in the
we're hearing
morning.
testimonies right now of people who went through
Jaden was the baby,
different
but
domestic
very mean.
violence situations.
He was a very mean baby.
And I'm gonna show you all the people that are here.
I always
right
thought
now.
I had more to Jay. Anybody else want to say anything? You? I'm sorry.
And as you can see men and women that have went through different situations, and they're here in support. Domestic violence awareness is definitely important.
My Aunt Nani was a very special
I'm
person.
representing
She always
my
held
purple
family gatherings,
and
always got
black
everybody
today.
together, always went beyond her
Because we're all
kids,
warriors
grandkids,
if we,
nieces, nephews, and everybody.
you know, we're able to overcome and
Jake
are
was her
still
little
alive
monkey.
to speak about
That
it.
was her little man. Joe was a little man, always